Welcome everyone to the 138th weekly MLP Drawing School.
Driving school.
It is
I can barely drive myself. I'm not ready to teach anyone to drive.
today we got the ever cat flavored Ellie Claw.
Oh, sure. Yeah, why not? Hi, how's it going?
There's a mousy cute pencil case.
Squeak, squeak, it's me.
Squeak, squeak, squeak. There's a Princess Fluffy's eye.
Hello.
And of course, the ever amazing Living Dead, our host, and Mater D.
Maitre D.
Mater D. Wait, no. Wrong thing.
Hello. I need to turn on the not safe for work version now.
Wait, what does that mean? Maybe tell me later.
Anywho.
So, ponies, art. Ponies and art. Maybe possibly other non-pony creatures.
Yeah.
All that and more. Stay tuned.
So let's just hop right into this one. As you all know, same rules apply. You can see them rolling across the top. We'll be send in pictures if you have pictures you want critiqued. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. We are here to help. Our stream ends when we're out of content or we die.
Well, you're already dead, though.
Undead, you know how it works.
Okay, fair. I just have to ask every time, because it's been 3 years, and
That's fair. Alright, so, yeah, first up is a picture by Lithe the Lemur.
Nice
I
name.
drew my girlfriend's OC for BronyCon. Smiley face!
Yaw.
I'm thinking of creating another comic book featuring this OC, but I'm not sure how much zebra love there is out there. There's a lot. I've already made 4 comics, seen here. They have made 4 comics, you should check them out. I'm looking to simplify her and make her easier for their whole comic book. Any suggestions? Sure! Actually simplify. Like, holy cow, this is a complex design to do.
Yeah, all those like flames and stripes and everything would be really like difficult to continue drawing over and over again, and like the way that the main is styled and the accessories and everything. Really difficult to repeat over and over and over again.
Really cool in a detailed picture. Yeah, dumb it down.
Of course, yeah. For comics, it's it's always the issue of balance, right? It's like you want to have a character that looks super nice. If you just draw them standalone, you want them to look really beautiful. But then it's like drawing a comic, you're gonna have to draw them 3,000 times. Like, do you think you can do this? Like, draw them once and say, do you think I can do this 2,000 times in different angles and poses and contexts and distances away and sizing panels and whatnot?
Yeah, and it's not that you can't have complex looking characters. It's just there's a line where like, will I accept this? Does this work? Is it important? You know, like you gotta ask yourself those kind of questions.
Yeah. So you could keep the like the colored muzzle part here. Maybe I don't know what these are. Are these supposed to be like gemstones or are they like markings? Because they look kind of different than the other markings. But question whether like maybe you could have like a couple in the nose or something on the cheek or something, just to, like like a little dot. Might make it give some nice like detail without being too complex. Change up the mane. Like, do you need these like ties and stuff? Do you need like the multicolored stripes in the mane? Maybe simplify this thing so it's not like loads of overlapping specific shapes that you need to get right every time. The ear thing seems quite complicated, and these like flame stripes seem hard to get right on the legs and everything. Like, you could try doing normal stripes, and then if you want more detail, you can give them some clothes, like some kind of scarf or shawl or something, some like robes or something. That might give some more detail on the body and not be too hard to draw.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with taking down the flames that are included in the stripes. Leave the cool one for the cutie mark. That makes sense. They got weird, interesting cutie marks. But the ones that are coming off the body, you can very easily simplify those in a way that still gets that sort of jaggedy look, just by, doing blah, 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 sort of, oh my gosh, that is not what I meant. Like, just like a zigzag sort of deal going on. Easy to redraw, easy to change and just sort of throw on there in a real quick haste.
Yeah, and something like to go pretty much along with what Living Dead's saying right here is like, so I see you have each of the stripes individually lined. Like, don't line them. Just do what Zamzam said and draw these like You can have naturalistic patterns and they can just exist. And you know what? They could change up. They could form. If you want something that's sort of like, it doesn't have to be picture perfect duplicates every time. Like, look at the MLP comics. There's so many inconsistencies when you look at certain character designs. Like, I'm sure if you ever see a comic with Sakura in it, not every stripe is every inch,
Yeah, absolutely.
perfection placed. So it's just a matter of a recognizable
I, th-
design.
I think I had a character when I was way younger. I had these furry characters, and one of them, which I didn't use very much, was a leopard. I think the idea for him was going to be that I not only did I not put attention into where the spots were actually placed in his design, but the joke was going to be that every single was going to have them in like a different place, just on purpose. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't need to be exact as long as it's recognizable as like a overall theme. Like, oh, the feel that these stripes have is the same, even if they're not like mathematically in exactly the same place.
Mm-hmm.
But by all means, create yourself a ref sheet that has them in a cohesive, like, so you're at least getting them in the same sort of area, like starting points and things, even if they're not completely accurate.
And it could be other things too, like the stripes could be a secondary trait, where other defining features could be how the hairstyle is done, how the tail's done up, and the jewelry she wears.
Mm-hmm.
Those could be
Yeah.
like their defining features.
Yes, exactly.
But besides design, as for anatomy, I would just say be careful. I almost want to call this a syndrome because over the years I've seen this a lot. I know I've done it myself. I know we've all done it at some point. When we do the thing where the leg picks up, like this here, let me just erase what I drew there. When we do the thing where the leg picks up, it tends to double in size. If I were to break that leg down, it would go past your leg right here. So just be wary of your proportions when moving limbs in a different way than the other one is placed. Kind of keep in mind the sections of the limbs and that they're gonna be relatively same size, no matter how they're bent, because they're still bones. They don't stretch sadly, unless you're Pinkie Pie. I mean, can't really stop her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, yeah. I do highly suggest playing around, as you said. And yeah, by all means, turn this into a comic. You've already
Yeah.
done 4 others. Why not?
Yeah.
Seems like a fun project.
Plus, comics mean drawing a lot, means practicing drawing,
Yeah,
means
comics
improving
are
the
actually a
skill.
really good way to draw. I've found, like, you think like the huge commitment would not be good, and anytime you're in a rut, it's like it never feels like a good idea to try doing something big. But in like sometimes I've had like art block, and then drawing a comic actually really helped because you're just drawing like lots of little things, and it really helps to get you over that hump.
And it challenges you because usually comics have very diverse
Yeah,
things, whether it be angles or
I want to
environments
draw
and
more.
such.
I want
Yeah.
to draw some comics. They're fun.
I'm just bad at the story part, so
Yeah, I usually just draw like silly little comics, but like even then it can be like it could be like 4 panels or it can be like 12, and it's like, and it still challenges you to like show something happening between scenes, so they can be fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
I want to draw comics, but I don't want to come up with a story. So I'm trying to convince Delta to
I have
pull out
story
with
but
me.
no motivation to do comics.
I'm trying to convince Delta to
Listen.
do one with me, but work in progress.
Yeah.
I was telling Ali about a huge idea that I wanted to make into a comic but don't have nearly enough like skill and time.
Big projects, man.
Yeah,
Seriously, they're scary but worth it. So please make more comics and great job.
I always love seeing them.
Really cute, and I love that you draw for your girlfriend. Plus plus.
Yeah.
That's how my boyfriend got me, so
Drew you a pretty picture?
of my pony.
Oh,
No.
only the finest.
All right. So shall we
You're
move
just
to
like
the next one?
sparkly eyes.
Next.
Yeah. It's like you draw. Done. Signed. Drew my pony.
I'm sorry, it's so
Listen,
funny.
you.
It's adorable. All right, next one up is by Purple Book Horse. How do I draw better pose and mane tail for Fluttershy in a tub?
So, if you're here, I'd ask, because the big important thing for this kind of a thing is, did you do an under sketch? That is something
Yeah.
I'd love to know. because that's what helps with posing in things that aren't what's it called? When you can't see it, you still should draw it because that helps it be real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for a reference in this position, but they can't find any, and they have no clue what to do. Finding a reference like this, it's going to be hard because it's a weird pose that they haven't. I don't think they've done in standard MLP. You can go and find.
Discord's done it or something.
Maybe.
Either way.
Either way, like they've laid on a couch or so, but not really, like this. You might find some in fan art, sort of like that, of other creatures, like non-pony creatures. You could also just go with any reference, take the base skeleton, and rework it. Like, it doesn't need to be lying in a tub in this exact pose. That's the beauty of references. You take a reference of your character and use it as a base model to figure out how you can manipulate it to be what you need.
Yeah. And you get multiple of those references, and even if they're not at the right angle or just the right pose, maybe you like how, say, the legs are hanging out of the edge of something. Like, I really feel like there's a picture of Applejack or something with her falling in an apple bucket and her legs are just kind of like plopping out the other side of the bucket. I feel like there's something along the lines of that existing somewhere, or someone's drawn it before, or you could even search for, I always encourage looking at other animals too. It doesn't just have to be pony, because ponies are so cartoonized in this generation of pony.
Mm-hmm.
You could really take from cats, dogs, anything that kind of has that leg structure, because they don't really keep to normal horse leg structure. So it's definitely more towards the others. But yeah, looking for references, just don't be too picky. Try to find as close as information as you can find that's not like the exact thing, or else you're not going to find very much of anything.
Now, for the mane and tail, it seems you've made them phase through the floor. You can see Q Pencil Case correcting this right now. She's taken how your legs are sitting on the bathtub, sort of extrapolated out how a floor would be.
Perspective.
Sane perspective, not what I'm doing. There we go. Anyway, sort of figured out how the floor would sit and then made the mane and tail interact with that. It's very important. If you've already established the feet on the tub, they are now sitting on the floor, unless if you're floating.
Yes.
And things interacting with the environment makes it cool.
Yes. It can sometimes really make the difference in a piece. You just have that everything touching the ground. I know I see a lot of people who draw their horses standing and the hair goes past their hooves. It's like, well, if they have really long hair, maybe the hair hits the ground too. And it really adds that extra oomph.
That would suck. It always dragging on the floor. Like
Fluttershy. Right there.
Okay, fair enough. I imagine that would just tear up the mane.
Yeah. That's why she had to get extensions.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I think that's about the suggestions we have. Make sure you go back to your undersketch, fully do your undersketch, include things like what's the perspective of the plane that they're sitting on, where are they interacting with it, and you get to work out more of these details, like how is it going to flow down in that type of undersketch, and then you get to build it up to that finished picture where you further put in that refinement.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think you handled this for the most part really well. Like, if this was a first initial sketch, I think you could really build on this, especially if you draw over it like we have here. Highly encourage people doing their own red lines when trying to correct something. Just don't get stuck into trying to correct it too much, or else you'll just be spending hours on something when you could just draw it again, and odds are it'll turn out better the second time.
Totes. McGoats. Alright, so Artemis has posted in our chat. We have an Aggie going. The theme is
plus.
Antiquity.
Ooh.
No, antiquity? No, what is that word?
Antique. Either way, we gotta get Twilight and Sunburst.
It's like the French version of it. I don't know my French.
Well, she's our resident
A president?
French girl.
That is true.
Friend resident.
Friend resident French girl.
Yeah, Optimus, you're the president now.
The president. My brain just does that. It just likes to combine.
All right, let's move on to Sombra. This is by Epic MLG 18.
Epic.
This should have been Epic MLP. Come on, dude. Come on,
Bro.
buddy.
Bro.
Delete the
360 no
account.
scope.
So where was I? Right, not to. Sombra sketch. That is all they have in here. Yes, just Sombra sketch.
Very solid sketch.
Yeah. Next time you post, can we get some questions? That'd be great. All right. So let's just critique what we got here. Definitely needs more boop. He looks to be. He looks to be looking at someone booping him.
I mean, yes, he is rather confused why someone would boop. The King of Crystals.
How could this happen to me?
I think one of the biggest things that stand out to me right away is the horn, because I need to look up an image, but either it's too small, but also it looks very 2D. I don't have any sense of 3D, where a lot of your facial structure is very nice in 3D and you have that good form going on. So that's the first thing that pokes out to me.
Yeah, Sombra's horn is huge. Holy cow.
Huge. And like, of course you can, if you have a stylized short horn Sombra, like could be teenage Sombra without his grown magical horn, that's for a later late night chat, but
For late night chat.
Let's see. Oh, why did you not save my tool settings? Silly drop out.
Cool. So his horn isn't explicitly like the only sign of it being 3D is actually in his armor. They carve a hole out for the base of it. And that's how they do it.
yeah.
It looks like you've given him sort of a like what the front of his face. You've sort of given him a bit of the armor, but I'm not quite sure what's really going on with this thing here.
I think was the armor once there? I see a faint outline going on.
Maybe
the armor was once on and then. And this is just why we also stress questions too, so we know what to look for. Otherwise, we're gonna be trying our best to help you.
Yeah.
Help us to help you, please. You got 2 years in, which is great. I love the flow of the hair. It's nice and floofy. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I like the positioning and shape of the ears.
Yes. And the eyes are nice too. I like them. I'm fine with the muzzle they've actually drawn. It's definitely a more stallion look. But Fluffy also offers an opportunity to do a more curved up, very cartoony, like a pony snoot. The show loves shoves.
I prefer them pointed up, but it's all just different ways of interpreting it.
Yeah.
Different options.
They do give him a very powerful and long nose. Not Big Mac style, but like larger than a Doctor Who's.
He's a man's man of a horse.
Nay.
Pony.
And there is a fluffy chest, which seems to be also important.
The shimmering magic line. That's a perfect use for the laser pointer. Make a shimmery magic line. And it's gone. Yes, fluff is important.
Oh wait, I have my mic on.
Yeah, like why are you writing? You can speak to us, Squeaky.
Fluff, fluff, fluff.
Alright, shall we move on to the next one?
Sounds good to me.
So I was quiet for ages because I was figuring out how to change my avatar. So there we go.
The important part.
So this is by Mr. Brickenwell, and it has really struggled with getting the cape of the wings to look natural.
That's because it. Like, why did you have a cape on your wings?
This seems very
They're
bad
like
for flying.
sleeves. Yeah, that's it is very impractical for wings. Having sleeves for them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that's what it was at first. I thought like they were either like a centaur creature with really fluffy hands, or they had like hair that went down inside the coat, and they could like move the hair like magically and used it to like flap these things about.
So I think
Yeah.
there would be like a place where
The stretch
Mm.
points.
yeah, I don't know how things are called. Like, it would bunch up over here
Yeah.
and then close to the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So it would do. How do I get the colors back? I don't know how to. I don't know where the color picker is. So. This I think.
I can never see where my. Does anyone else have the problem with not knowing where their little pen thingy is half the time?
Yeah, it's very small. Oh no, mine is
hard to
very
see.
big. I don't know why.
Oh, excuse me. No, stop it.
Do it like this.
So I feel like the bunching of the cape in general is not very. Could do some work. There we go.
Yeah, I'd say okay, so seems like you want to have someone posing prominently with their wings out. I think it's a matter of you either pick between the cape or not, or also consider the cape. You could have them flay like they just splay their wings out really far, but that same
And have the
whoosh
cape up,
pushes the
yeah.
cape. Yeah, pushes the cape behind them, and it's like a whole superhero pose going on with the wings
So,
just
me
whoosh,
do-
right off the back.
Yeah, so you have like the cape sort of a little bit bunching up behind the wings
Yeah.
there. Ooh.
Plus, it would add more like a dynamic feel to the piece too, having like the whole motion of the wings pushing the cape, and the cape is flowing. It gives that like grandeur appeal. But if you did want something that was more like a jacket and the wings are like arms, I mean, I can't, you can't, I can't say don't do it. Go ahead and
Yeah.
try and figure it out. It definitely will be difficult, but they'll just be really huge arm sleeves.
Yeah.
Because like
Excuse my
imagine folding your
drawing on them.
wings, like folding your wings back up with those sleeves, so it's all gonna
Yeah.
get crumpled in the wing. But again, if it's something you want to do, like they're talking horses that are colorful.
I
Like
can
candy.
barely fold my arms in my normal jackets.
I think you need better
It's
fitting
like
jackets.
I might use a few too many layers.
Yeah, so I've drawn the two options. You can either have the cape down, like covering the wings, or you can have the wings on top, throwing the cape up. Also, you can have the. So I've done the wing in a darker green line there, but you could have both, and have the cape
also
just have
have-
like a hole in it for
Yeah.
the wing to come through. So the wings on top of the cape. If that makes sense. That would probably be the most comfortable and practical option of all three, rather than covering the wings completely with the cape. Like have a section for the wings to go through. And that'd probably be the most easy to draw, and you can just draw this character. No need to worry about tricky body anatomy when most of it's covered with a cape, and they got their wings and they can still flap their wings. I actually want to draw a character with a cape.
I see Mr. Brick in the Walls in the chat, so I guess we'll wait for. Do you have any more? Like, do you have questions like about what we're saying? Are you really dedicated to this sleeve thing? What's your feedback? What would you like? If it's just a matter about figuring out folds, a lot of what was talked about earlier, just finding out where the key bending points are, where tension points are. You can even look at yourself wearing a jacket and kind of see when you bend your arm.
Mm.
Like, there's a lot in the elbow region, the shoulder, sometimes by the wrist if you're like bent. If it's a nice form-fitting jacket.
I like this little sketch that CBC's done.
I love the big happy smile.
superhero. Yeah, that's a good rendition of bending fold CPC. In 2 or 3 different kinds of jacket, like at the same time. In one like design, yeah, maybe. I think it might be a case of deciding what it is you're really trying to accomplish. And then like take into mind like what outfits like are, what clothing is, and how and why it's designed in certain ways, and like think about the pony designing, if it's this character or a different character, designing this piece of clothing and making it, and what functions it serves to keep a pony comfortable and to provide a purpose, if any. And think about like how it's made to be efficient, because like if it might be a case of like yeah, and like it's like the cosplay rule, right? Is what I'm trying to say. It's like it's thinking about actually wearing the outfit, because it's all too easy to design a character that has like a really cool complex looking outfit and then realize, how am I ever going to make this and wear it, you know? Like I've done that before, and it's like I can't even remotely figure out how this character takes this outfit off and puts it on, you know. Even if I'm not going to cosplay this character, it's a matter of they are a person and are wearing clothes and have put those clothes on in the morning, you know.
They just permanently wear them. They're cartoon.
They're born with them and they grow up, the clothes grow with them.
Yeah. Just sprout from their bodies.
Yeah. This cape is a part of my
They come
body.
out of- And they come out of their cartoon eggs. The clothes come with them.
Cartoon eggs.
I'm just gonna go ahead and plop a link in the chat for just a little itty bitty tutorial about folds and fabric, just to give you some ideas on how you can adapt, you
That
know,
is
these
helpful.
different types of folds to clothing and such. I don't know, it's a simple tutorial, but I like this style because it's like a little nibble, it's a little snack tutorial, so you don't feel overwhelmed. It give you visuals and descriptions and such, but
It's just a mane that looks like a jacket. God. It's actually just part of the hair.
sounds like some sort of My Hero Academia power.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like your hair is just a tent.
Yeah.
You just end up looking like that character from Pokemon Sun.
Well, any more questions, Mr. Brigganawall? It's a pleasure as always getting your art in the stream.
Always happy to stick that art up on that wall.
A fridge full of art.
Ooh, hope you do. Thank you for the arts.
All right, let's move on then.
Yes, we shall.
Oh no, you're just a Mr. Brick in a wall.
Oh, that's the screaming CPC mouse at the top. I just said that. Okay. Also, I noticed that there is now a check for updates button.
What?
They're finally gotten to the 21st
under the help.
You up to date?
So crazy.
This is by Vaping Brony 45. Hashtag Fallout Equestria. OCs are wondering. OCs are wandering sunrise in Noita. Noita is looking at his girl's new hairdo from a safe distance.
Sounds like a bit of a creeper idea.
I like his face though.
Yeah, that made me laugh as well.
Staring in your window.
So I think the first thing I want to say is, hey
That's
Zomzom,
interesting.
you should totally give your talk about taking pictures of art.
Don't take a picture on an angle. No, seriously, don't take a picture on an angle. It's artsy and stuff, but your picture was painted on a flat thing. You should throw this thing on a scanner if you can. If you don't have a scanner, that's fine. Your camera seems very competent at taking a picture. Let's just rotate it so it's 90 so it's perpendicular to our camera. We got a good light source on it, so there's no shadow being cast by me or my camera or anything
Even if you do
else.
get a shadow, I still think it's better than angled.
Yeah, because it warps the perspective of your picture.
And take that picture. If it's not focusing on it, stick a pencil on your paper, focus on the pencil because some cameras that aren't using laser sensors are using ultrasonic and they suck at flats. They're great at picking up edges though. He'll pick up that pencil edge. He'll focus on that. Close enough to the picture. Whatever. We'll take a picture of that. Voila.
Nice.
Done. Now you have a
Cool.
sharp, clean picture that you can stick on your wall. I guess. If you
Cool.
wanted to take a picture of a picture to stick it. That'd be weird.
Just to preserve the original. So I feel like the eye here needs to be. Let's try that again. The eye needed to be is like way too far over on the back of the head. So first thing that jumped out at me was move the eye over, and then I'm just sort of like straightening up the face shape. Ooh, this is hard to draw on a mouse. I'm sorry, my tablet is broken. So one thing leads to another. Oh god, that's terrible. Always draw with paper and pencil or a tablet. No mouse unless you're doing vector. I also shouldn't be leaning back in my chair, but my back gets tired. Where's my cursor gone? Okay, there it is.
Life is hard.
Art is hard. Plus. Oh god, this is terrible. I must art critique. It is my
It's
destiny.
in your blood. It's
Oh
just-
no, that's
is
not
that
what I
your
wanted to do.
mark?
Critiquing another piece of art. So I'm just gonna mess around with this body as best I can, given my handicap here.
So for future pictures, I highly suggest doing something like CPC's doing. Small thumbnails helps you work out a image beforehand without using up much resources or time or anything. Basically doing very, very quick sketches. You don't need to do nearly the detail CPC's doing. Just throwing down a few blob characters and a few quick pencil strokes to work out tree, bush, character, that type of stuff. It will help you set up a perspective and figure out the entire image beforehand. Very useful. Sometimes I'll go through a page or two of them just to work out a single. Other times I'll just hop right in with an idea floating in my head. It can very much help getting that first picture going.
Mm-hmm.
How is she gonna stretch this?
And like, they're called thumbnail sketches for a reason. Like, it'll take up even. It can even be less than what I did in the corner of your page there.
Yep.
I'm trying to do walking bows now, but
Yeah.
that's...
The other thing is, so you did a side view here, right? Still draw the other two limbs. We're still gonna see them. I know, the show is animated in 2D and they have a very flat style, but even then we still see all four limbs and we see them touching the ground unless one's lifted up. But yeah. I know you have a lot of detail going on with the vault suit and all the accessories, so it's kind of like you gotta take it with the good and the bad. You draw the other one, sure, you might have a little more details to draw, but still it's good to have all those done because then it feels that much more, what's the word?
complete.
Complete, yes. Complete. There's more form. It's the full pony. It's not just a cutout.
This is supposed to be a held up leg, but this is hard. Oh no.
And I have they been to our subreddit before?
There we go.
Because I don't.
Vaping
recognize-
Brony, yeah. I think
have?
I've seen that name before.
Okay. Well then, as I'm sure we've said it before, I would definitely go check out some of the starter guides we have on our Reddit. So there's a little sidebar. It's got a bunch of great ones. Anything from anatomy to even some drawing exercises and such. But honestly, this is cute. It made me laugh. It made me feel happy. So that's something art does. It doesn't need to be, whatever skill level. It made me feel happy because it made me laugh. In a funny way, because peeking out of the bush in the face just makes me giggle. It's a good face. I don't know what it is about it. I just really like the face of the zebra.
That was my worst over sketching ever, but I just felt you needed those other limbs in there. It was okay as like a standing pose with just not having the back legs in. And I was like, I think this pony's walking because like I don't know, that seems to be what's going on here. And now I've ruined it. But you can
Tried
backtrack in the
your
video
best.
to when I didn't ruin it.
You tried your best with a mouse. That's all
Yes.
you can do. Yeah. Otherwise, please keep up the sketching. And I love that you're doing full color stuff. Have fun with that. You know, don't think you can only sketch in black and white. Use color. It makes people happy. Color's great. If you don't like color, that's fine too. But yeah, anything else, guys?
That's what yeah. It's a fun picture. We enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have any art they'd like critiqued? Any other questions they'd like to ask?
Comic on the right.
I got distracted making tiny pictures.
Remember, there is a Nike going. Right now we have 3 ponies appearing on this thing right now. We got a Time Lord. We got a
I've
Luna.
had enough drawing with the mouse, thanks.
Why wouldn't you want to draw with CPC?
Oh no, I love drawing with that mouse. But with my computer mouse as my tool is a tricky challenge.
Tricky.
All right, then we'll call it a day. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Boy, boy.
Oh, I'm trying to draw it. Bye.
Just totally distracted.
Okay. A little bit. I turned on Aggie. I was trying to draw with the